Hey, I'm your host, Anthony Tank Mansfield, and with me this week is...
Steve Haldeman.
And this is What You Into.
What you into? What you into?
Listener, welcome back. Steve, welcome back. Dude, happy to have you back on the show. I've lost count of how many times this is.
Yeah, me too. 5-ish.
5-ish, 6-ish?
Five,
I don't know.
something, yeah.
You're in the rarefied area. You're not in the same area of Jamie, but you're nipping at the heels.
Nice.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. Jamie is actually listener. Fun thing to note. Jamie for October is going to be co-hosting with me for all the October episodes. It's the spooky season of the show. We were hanging out the other night doing UFC Fight Night, and he's just like, "Hey man, are you going to do scary episodes for October this year?" And I was like, "Oh fuck, I forgot about that. Yeah, I am." And then I was like, "Do you want to come on and co-host the show?" Sure. So look for that. Jamie is just going to pad stats and continue to be number one.
That's awesome. I'm excited for that.
You're a solid silver medalist, though, or at least you're on the stand.
Yeah,
At the end of the day,
I
you're
podiumed?
You
Nice.
podiumed. You're up there. Oh shit! Listener, you're going to find this guy at Steve. You can find him on IG at Steve Haldeman 7, and you know where to find me at Neil to No One on Instagram. You can go to my website, but it's kind of fucked up. So yeah, just go to my Instagram. All right, dude. So like I said, it's been a minute. Why is it every time I invite you on the show, you always ask if we're having dinner?
Because I think about food all the time.
You are literally the only guest I have that every time I invite you on the show, you're like, are we getting dinner? And I'm like, it's not fucking hot ones, dude. Like, in your mind, where do you envision? Are we eating before the show or are we eating on the show?
I don't know. Just whenever.
Do you think
this
that's-
is when I eat? This is usually my eating
This
time.
is eating time?
Yeah,
Is
so I either have to
7-ish,
eat
8-ish?
before or after, and if I don't, yeah.
All right.
But I think about food all the time.
you don't want
so
to
that's
come on
why.
the show hangry.
Yeah. No,
So-
dinner is important. I plan dinner day in advance.
Dinner's always 24 hours ahead of time. You know what you're having?
Yeah.
Damn. Okay. Yeah. You're in the Lauren Bishop Club.
Fat kids gotta have food, man.
Yeah. Well, you and my wife are the same. My wife is always plotting her next meal. Literally, before we go to bed, she tells me like what she's going to have for breakfast the next morning.
Yep.
Yeah. Whereas I am a creature of repetition, and I will just eat the same shit over and over again, or I will just go get stuff. The entire week she was out of town, I just didn't make coffee because I didn't feel like dealing with it. So I just like lived on energy drinks for fucking 7 days, and I'm lazy in the kitchen.
Yeah. Did you poop a lot?
I mean, is it a day that ends in Y? I mean, I'm over 40, dude. My body is just, there's a lot of parts on it that are just kind of, I mean, they're not, I don't need to replace them yet, but it's clunky, wear and tear.
Energy drinks is poop fuel.
Is that what it is?
Yeah.
Dude, I feel like a lot
absolutely.
of stuff is poop fuel.
Yeah. Well, yeah. We just talked about that. I can't do IPAs anymore.
I mean, beer in general.
yeah.
Yeah,
rough.
It'll open the gates.
Yeah.
Yeah, especially if you like I don't know if you've done this in a while, but like go to a tailgate and then just because you're just living off of light beer where you're in a parking lot for like 3 to 4 hours. That next day is a rough day.
Yeah. Yeah.
As a wild next day.
I've turned to seltzers, the hard seltzer.
Mhm, that's the move.
Yeah. I feel as though it's light beerish. It's fruity. It's nice. It's not as nice as a good beer or whatever. I can do mead and wine. Those are good. But yeah, my favorite things are not really. If I'm going to do a double IPA, I got to be, make sure I'm home all day the next day.
Yeah, make sure you're strapped in.
Lots of stuff to do on the phone. Yeah.
Well, look, dude, we didn't get to this point without having some age on us. And part of having some age on us is being old enough to remember these movies. I'm stoked to talk about this tonight, man. Rocky, the Rocky franchise. So we're only talking Rocky 1 through 6. We're not talking any of the Creed movies. And listener, spoiler alert, it's a deep dive. So if you've listened to these episodes before, it's spoiler heavy. We go in depth on the movies. We talk about it. We talk about the characters. We talk about what we like about the movies. We don't like. Just it's a big review. It's a love letter to a franchise that we're both super into. How did you get Rock? What got you into Rocky? Like, what was the thing that got you into the Rocky movies?
I mean, I was, that came out in 1976, late 75
Yes.
was it? Like November. Anyway, 76. So I was a little kid when it came out, when the first one came out, and I was just sort of starting to be self-aware. So Star Wars, Rocky, Grease, Saturday Night Fever, and then Rocky 2 came out, and I remember that. And then Rocky 3, I was like young teenager, which is what it was aimed at. So probably, I've grown up with it. Period. Like I don't remember a time. I don't have any memory of a time without Rocky.
Without Rocky?
Yeah.
That makes sense. Okay. All right. So talking about, when getting into Rocky, I'm in the same boat you are. So I was born in 81. So when I was a kid, like my first interaction with Rocky was Rocky 4 because I'd never really seen anything before then. I was probably like, I don't know, 6 or 7 when it came out. I remember like watching my family because the Rocky movies are one of those movies where like, outside of the horrific violence of watching men beat each other half to death, which is also a wild thing.
All problems can be solved with violence.
Yeah. Well, the wild thing with this series is it's like, how many fights there are where somebody about dies or does die, like, which is something you don't really see in combat sports. Like, you'll see somebody get knocked out and they're down, but in maybe occasion, like in MMA, you'll see somebody blow a knee or break a leg, but it's very rare you see somebody like I'm trying to think of a time I've seen somebody like get paralyzed or like I've seen worse things happen in the NFL games than I've seen in boxing matches or MMA fights.
Yeah.
So but this is like a recurring thing with the Rocky series is like everybody looks like they've just like been thrown into a pit of razor blades and like crawled out the other side at the end of every fight.
Yeah. There's death is always impending. Death is always there in every Rocky movie. It's just somebody dies, somebody's gonna die, somebody might die. Apollo dies in 4. Spoiler alert.
Yeah. Well, again, heavy spoilers. I think it also attracts me to it is it's a sports movie. And sometimes I forget that it's a sports movie because boxing is like such a unique sport. It's kind of unto of itself. And you don't see like a lot of boxing movies, like I think kind of one of the reasons why it's because like every boxing movie that comes out automatically gets compared to Rocky. You can't escape it.
Yeah, Raging Bull. Especially, I mean, I think boxing is kind of out of fashion now. It's a sport that's like, I think in worse shape than baseball. Like people don't really follow, which was an interesting, not to leap too far ahead, but that was an interesting theme of Rocky Balboa was like that boxing itself is in trouble. So
yeah, well, I mean, boxing is now just such in a weird spot where, again, like I'm a combat sports guy. I'm watching every UFC pay-per-view, and I grew up watching boxing, and I'll even catch like some stuff like Bellator does on occasion. But boxing is so hard to follow as a fan, just because it's like, fuck, man, there's like a weight division for every 3 to 5 pounds. And so then there's like multiple leagues, and I'm just like, well, how like who is the best? Like what belt signifies you are the like what is the organization where this is where the premier people are? Because in soccer you have the Premier League, in American football you have the NFL. What the league is where the top dudes are. Whereas in boxing it's like, well, this guy over here is the best of that weight class. This guy over here is the best of that. Well, if this guy drops down 2 weight classes, then he wins the belt here, and it's just like, what the fuck? This is confusing.
Alphabet soup, IBF. Yeah, it's the same. Like world heavyweight champion of the IBF, but not the WB. And the boxers have been starting, and I don't want to get too down this rabbit hole, but like refusing to fight the prescribed, like you have to fight this guy because he's holding this alphabet belt, and they're like, no, like that's not the best challenger. And and like it's people are starting to push back, like. Yeah, I don't know what can save it. I don't remember. I mean, really, Mike Tyson was like the last like super boxing hero.
Yeah, and sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off or try to interrupt you there, but another issue that I have that I wanted to throw in with that, and I agree with you on the Tyson comparison, is the whole thing that boxing has where it's like, it's got this weird virgin complex where like everything is based around who has the biggest undefeated streak. And then as soon as somebody loses a fight, it's like, oh, he's washed. And it's just like,
Yeah.
wait, what the fuck? Like, the guy's 24-1. Like, he's not washed. He got beat one night. He got beat by one of the other best people in the world. Like, what do you mean that, like, it's over? Or, like, you shouldn't book this guy on cards? Like, or he should no longer be in a spotlight. Like, this is a made person, like somebody who gets to this level. Now you actually have somebody that can compete against other people at this high level, and now you have storylines that are created where you put the best of the best against each other. I don't understand this whole fascination of the undefeated streak in boxing.
Yeah, they're not. It's not well marketed anymore. They relied so heavily on, you know, Muhammad Ali, Sugar Ray Leonard,
Big personalities,
Mike Tyson,
George Foreman,
Yeah,
Evander Holyfield during that era. And I agree with you. I remember growing up during the Tyson era, and Tyson was just such a force, like, and such an incredible athlete, and was an interesting guy that
transcended the sport.
He did
And
transcend
if
the
no
sport.
boxer has transcended the sport, I'd argue, since him.
Yeah, to that level. I mean,
Yeah.
you know, people know about like Lennox Lewis, and people know about the Klitschko brothers.
Sure.
You know, but as far as like that name recognition in pop culture, where Mike Tyson to boxing was Tony Hawk to skateboarding was Michael Jordan to basketball,
Yeah.
where it was like when you name boxing, you know, forever Muhammad Ali's name was named, you would associate with it. In the 80s and 90s, it was like, oh, Tyson.
Yeah.
You know, he was just so dominant and just so another, just completely another thing the sport had never seen before.
Yep. Yeah, and I think with MMA and those kinds of things, I think they've kind of like boxing is kind of, people are less interested in it now. You know, like I don't know. I guess maybe there's a little bit of it's less brutal, but they're also just not good at marketing themselves. Like they're just not good at, you know, like MMA fighters go over to box to bring attention to boxing, and that's the boxers that people pay attention to, you know. And then you've got like boxers that are super famous. They're like, you know, like was Mayweather, right?
Yeah.
Like is famous for not getting hit. Like,
Yeah.
he's like the worst possible, like best. I mean, he's one of the greatest boxers of all time, but it's not real marketable. Like you can't hit the guy.
Yeah, I mean, to love Mayweather, to be like a huge Mayweather fan, you have to be like such a boxing aficionado that you know what you're looking at and you appreciate what he does.
Yeah.
Because if you're just somebody who's a casual fan that's like, oh, my friend's getting the pay-per-view and I'm going to go over. I'm like, oh, what the fuck is this? Like, this little guy just dodges out of the way and he pitter-patters people. Like, he's not really throwing anything behind what he's connecting with.
Yeah.
Like, he's not knocking people out. Like, people aren't even getting fucking knocked down. Like, what am I watching right now?
Yeah, he's just outscoring the shit out of people.
Yeah,
But
yeah. It's like watching like a bad karate tournament. It's like point karate where it's just like, all right, well, that's a point. It's like nothing happened.
yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, I know. And now I don't know if this is the death of boxing or if this is the thing that revitalizes boxing. But the whole thing with like the Paul brothers and like the celebrity pay-per-views now that are happening and all that. I mean, it's garnering attention, but I don't know if this is the thing that saves the sport.
Yeah, it doesn't seem like the sport side at all. Like, yeah, I don't know what saves the sport. I'm. It's interesting having grown up when we grew up, where, you know, my first hero was Muhammad Ali.
Mm-hmm.
You know, like I very little kid, like float like a butterfly, sting like a bee. I remember, you know, my mom was like would always tell me how, you know, I would run around like he was my guy. You know, like, you know, and he was mostly 60s, but also into the 70s, and, you know, that's pre-Michael Jordan. Like, he was, you know, post Babe Ruth, he was the greatest of all time, greatest of sports anything. And he's just a brilliant character, and, you know, and they just haven't had anything. You know, Mike Tyson was like the perfect guy to come out like after Rocky III.
Yeah, well,
You know?
yeah, the whole Clubber Lang thing, sure.
Yeah.
And I think what you're describing, though, of Muhammad Ali, what made Muhammad Ali interesting was he was a character on some level where he definitely took what from, like, was it Gorgeous George, the wrestler, and then he had seen that where, like, Gorgeous George, or was it Adrian Adonis? I think it was Gorgeous George, had this, like, gimmick where it was, like, very flamboyant, where it was like, it's like he's cross-dressing. Is he gay? He's acting like it, you know, like, and that was like a thing where it stood out at the time from other pro wrestlers. Cause like everybody else in that era of pro wrestling was like black boots, black trunks, and that was kind of it. Whereas now this guy was a character, and so then people would boo at this guy, or they had an investment that they wanted to see him get beat because they were like, "Oh, gay guy." But and then at the same time, he made so much money off that because they wanted to see him lose, and then he got money and championships because of it, because they would draw money towards the card. And so and then he would like talk and do promos and stuff, and Muhammad Ali saw that and applied that to his own self. He's like, well, what do I need to do? And it's like, talk, be you, turn the personality up to 10, and just, and people are either going to love or hate you. And Muhammad Ali definitely experienced that on both sides of the coin, where there's people that rally around Muhammad Ali as like one of the greatest people of all time. There's other people that thought he was like a draft dodging communist and a bunch of other derogatory racial shit to be said towards him. But either way, you were paying to come in the door to see Muhammad Ali fight.
Yeah, you were paying attention to him. Yeah, I saw like a history of hip hop once where he's credited as one of the people to invent rap, just because of his rhyming,
his cadence,
his rhyming,
and how he would say
the stuff. So like they're talking about like there's scat and certain kinds of jazz, but he kind of like made the cocky sort of braggadocio rhyming, where it was entertaining, and it was Muhammad Ali made a brand because he made people have to decide. Do you like him or not?
There wasn't in between.
There was no who's that? Muhammad Ali, like him or not,
And he also...
And it was 50-50, I'd argue. I'd say like 50% of people loved him, 50 hated.
Well, it's like it's like today where everybody's like, oh, Muhammad Ali, everybody always loved that guy. Sorry, not Muhammad, Martin Luther King Jr. Now today everybody's like, oh, everybody loved Martin Luther King Jr. It's like, if you go back in history, not everybody... No, he was kind of... Yeah, there was a lot of people that didn't like him. CIA didn't like him.
Same with Muhammad Ali.
Yeah.
A whole lot of people didn't like Muhammad Ali.
Yeah.
Which is crazy to look back now. He's probably...
he lit the fucking torch in the Olympics at one point.
He's on the Mount Rushmore of American sports legends.
Yeah.
Without question.
Yeah, he like Babe Ruth, Muhammad Ali, Michael Jordan, like those guys that define entire eras of a sport.
Not Tom Brady.
Fuck yeah, Tom Brady. I mean...
I'm not making a serious argument for Tom Brady. I just don't want him.
He wins. God damn it. America loves big, hairy winning machines. That's what we love in this country. And and
if he had played for the Bengals, I'd feel differently.
Yeah. And just, if he just wasn't Tom Brady.
Yeah.
So, but okay. So yeah, anyways, with this whole thing, I agree. I think boxing does need, kind of we talked about the alphabet soup that is everything, trying to figure out how to get past this whole era of weird celebrity boxing and getting people who are actually characters again that people are invested in and want to see fight. And again, like we said with like MMA, we've seen that now jump over with like Ronda Rousey and Conor McGregor, who have done that, where like they broke into the pop cultural zeitgeist of being like these people that, even non-fans know the name value of because of them talking and what they've said and done.
Yep.
So, you gotta, if you want to get to that next level, you want to make that big money. You can't just be an athlete. You got to be somebody who connects with the crowd and gives them a reason to care whether they want to see you win or if they're paying to see you lose.
Yeah. You gotta be a brand.
Well, let's shift. Let's get into, okay, let's kind of do this for a second as we transfer between the real world to the Rocky world. One thing that's always interested me about Rocky is the weird way Rocky kind of is real but not, and what I mean by that is like a lot of Rocky movies like have boxers that are actual boxers that then appear in the Rocky movies, and then vice versa, the thing where like if you go to Philadelphia, like there's a fucking Rocky statue, which is kind of weird. It's like,
it's not Sylvester Stallone statue.
No, it's not Sylvester Stallone. It's Rocky from the movie, and it's a big part of the city, and it's part of the identity of Philadelphia is the Rocky statue, and it's just like, man, like, can I see that happening with any other character in any other movie where, like, I mean, there's like the Fonz in Milwaukee, but something like this where you make a statue for a fictional character doesn't really happen that fucking often.
Yeah, if you say like, what would you identify? What city would you identify Sylvester Stallone with? Hollywood.
Yeah.
You wouldn't immediately, but like
I'd say
Rocky,
LA.
Philadelphia.
Yeah, Rocky.
Philadelphia, Rocky. Yeah, not Stallone. Like he is definitely it's a character, and he's been, you know, not to get too deep into it, at least not yet, but like Rocky was always a sign of the times for 4 decades, 70s, 80s, 90s,
100
aughts,
100%
and now teen, like
100% agree.
like
Yes.
coming up on 50 years. Soon it will be 50 years of Rocky.
Yeah.
And that character has been pervasive since he came on the screen. You know, like, and you know, like Stallone willed him into existence. Stallone was like, nope, this is my character and I'll do whatever it takes. And I mean, theme 1 of Rocky is determination. And
Yes.
that man did that work.
Yeah, it really does, and it really did. Well, let's jump in, man. Let's talk about the first movie. You want to hit it?
You can't start a Rocky movie off or a Rocky discussion about Rocky movies without, of course,
Classic. I got to keep talking over this. We're gonna get a copyright strike. Dun, 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 dun. Dun, 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 dun. Oh, it's instantly pumps you up.
yeah.
It's like hearing Thunderstruck at a fucking football game. Like,
I
wanna go-
literally have a rush of adrenaline right now.
Yeah, I can run through a wall at this very instant.
Yes.
Yeah. It is
One of the most
Classic.
recognizable
songs of
Songs,
all time.
not just movie
Yeah, not just
song,
movies.
song.
Songs.
Yeah.
Like you hear those horns, and then if you don't get it by the horns, then it's like dun 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 dun, dun, and you're like, oh shit, I know what this is.
It's got funky bass. It's got like crazy like guitar solo. It's nuts. It's crazy how pervasive just that song is. Like, I mean, the influence of Rocky. Like after, you know, when we were talking about doing the show, and I started thinking about it, I'm like, man, it is like. It's so much. It's not just a movie franchise. It's not. James Bond is a movie franchise, right?
Yeah.
007. There's a lot of things that are, you know, and like I love 007, but it's not. I wouldn't say it is as pervasive in culture as Rocky is.
Yeah, well, it's got that connection of it's a sports movie, and yeah, just like another thing with the Rocky movies is the continuing drama of this, where like they tend to hold on to people as long as they can. Like these reoccurring characters that have come back for like 4, 5, 6 movies now, and now with the Creed series beyond that, you know.
Yeah.
And there's been some people that have died during the course of the movie, you know, and then they've had to like, okay, what do we do with the character, and like try to figure out how that works.
Yeah, Spider Rico is like the guy that Stallone or Spider Rico is the guy that Rocky is fighting in the very first scene
Yep.
of Rocky 1.
Yep.
And he shows up again in Rocky Balboa.
Which is great.
Yeah, like it's like like Stallone was like very much throwing back. Like I learned all my lessons, and like the first movie was the perfect movie film wise.
Mm-hmm.
It's not my favorite for my heart, but I know it's the best one. Like Rocky 1 and likewise, I think Rocky Balboa is probably the second best film, but my favorite will always be 3. But
Yeah, Rocky 1 comes out 1976, a budget of $1 million, does $225 million worldwide when it's all said and done.
yeah,
Which is insane. Gets nominated for 10 Academy Awards, including Sylvester Stallone for Best Actor and Original Screenplay. It goes on to win Best Director and Best Picture.
and best film editing
Yeah, which is
because montages.
a huge part of the Rocky movies, which is also I think is a thing that's so memorable about this. And again, we're just checking off a list of the reasons why I love this film franchise. The iconic music that. Again, the intro song, it's the intro to Star Wars. It's the fucking Halloween song. It's, you know, for me, the Jason
Friday the 13th.
Friday the 13th, you know.
That's not just you.
Yeah, I mean, like you just you hear these things, the Jaws, dun, dun dun dun, you know, like just even doing that, like you instantly in your head you hear the
Those
song,
3 songs,
you see the images in your head, you see the movie.
Those 3 songs 2 years apart.
Which is
All
also
3 of those
nuts.
come out within 2 years of each other.
The cultural impact that those films and those songs have had on all of us. And then, you know, again, we talked about it, like the reoccurring characters. I'm with you. I love the Spider Rico throwback in Balboa. But I also think it is like a cool part of this universe is there are like different boxers, and it's like there's this own league of boxers of, and that's something that you can find on YouTube is people have done rankings of who would beat who in matchups, like Apollo Creed versus Clubber Lang, who would win, or like Clubber Lang versus Ivan Drago, who would win.
Oh, I want to see the Clubber Lang Ivan Drago fight real bad.
Big meaty men slapping meat, that's what that is. Had some hosses going at it. But I do think that is a cool part of the Rocky franchise is they Stallone is definitely aware of the lore of it, and he does a lot of callback to that lore, and it really helps to create a living, breathing 3D world.
Yeah, it's interesting with Rocky it's so formulaic. But there are these motifs that run through them, and they're like when you go see a band and the band has to play this stinking song every night and they're sick to death of it. They've been playing it for 40 years, but it is like the song when you go to see them, like you're going to walk out and be a little disappointed if they don't, even though if they don't, you understand why.
Right.
But they still are going to do it.
Yeah, play the hits.
During the concert at some point, Rocky's going to talk about retirement.
Yes.
Rocky's going to retire. We talked about earlier, somebody might die. Every single movie, somebody might die at some point.
Adrian is going to question something and make Rocky question his entire career.
Or the Adrian stand-in.
Yeah. Yeah. There's always going to be some woman that's like, do you think this is a good idea? Because I don't want you to do it. And then Rocky's like, I don't know. I guess not. And then eventually the lady's like, go kick that guy's ass. And he's like, okay.
Yep. Yeah. It's always Adrian that questions him, and then it's always Adrian that has to make him get up and go.
Yeah. She's on both ends of it. Well,
That's why in was it 2? Mickey has to sit by the bedside the whole time because he knows as soon as she wakes up, she's going to tell him to go fight, and he's going to do it.
Right. Mickey's
like, I'm going to have to sit here for like a month until she gets out of this coma.
Yeah. Mickey's an alarm clock. He's like a training alarm clock. As soon as she's up, he's like, all right, we got to go.
Yep.
Well, all right, man. Let's talk about so let's kind of talk a little bit about a cast in the first movie here, because then this is going to carry over for a lot of these movies. Because again, this franchise, it really does have a history and a lot of reoccurring characters coming back. So first off, Stallone, you might know him from such things as Rambo, Tango and Cash, Judge Dredd, Stop or My Mom Will Shoot, Cliffhanger, Demolition Man. I can keep going.
Keep going.
Yeah, I mean, dude, Stallone, The Expendables. As far as like an actor, a filmmaker, I've just seen so much of his shit.
Yep.
And you know what? I will say this: Stallone sometimes does fall into that trap of, and all actors do this, of where they're just kind of playing themselves at some point. Especially as they get deeper in their career. Like Robert De Niro has been doing that for like 3 fucking decades at least now. Where like
Scorsese does it as a director.
Yeah. Oh god.
Every Scorsese movie is the same movie.
Yeah. Can we get the Rolling Stones again? We need the Rolling Stones again. Yeah. No, we don't. We really don't. You can listen to another band, Boomer. But Stallone, especially in this series, and then in the first Rambo, really does. He's a good actor. Like he can emote. He can play a character that you have sympathy for, that you relate to, and especially in the Rocky movies, like it's interesting because Rocky is a self-admitted not intelligent guy, especially in the first two. In the first two, Rocky is very aware.
Oh, in the second one,
yeah,
he goes too far.
Yeah, he goes really far in the second one. But it kind of lets you know he's not the smartest guy. But at the same time, like you love Rocky. And you don't love Rocky because Rocky always means well. Rocky's incredibly humble, which makes no sense with the fucking GOAT elite athlete that he's portraying. Because I've never seen somebody in any sport that's like a GOAT elite athlete that's not like egotistical and aware of how great they are.
Yeah, and that is talk about how it permeates. Like, why do Americans love him? Because that he's working class. He's self-deprecating. He's all shucks. But like, it's a real problem for like super confident GOAT athlete who's a super confident, I am the greatest of all time, which you have to have that kind of mentality to sacrifice the kind of stuff you do to get to that level of, like perfection at what you do. and then people are mad at you because you're not all shucks about it. Like it's an interesting, like, here's the greatest fake athlete of all time, and it's like all shucks, and it's like, yeah, he wouldn't be as good a character if he wasn't, though.
No, which on the opposite side of that, Apollo Creed is the antagonist in the first movies. Is that
Yeah.
Apollo Creed is like 46-0,
Realistic.
baddest motherfucker on the planet. Like, Apollo is the man. He will tell you that he is the man because all he does is take dudes out.
Yeah.
Like this is what Apollo Creed does.
Well, he's Muhammad Ali because
Yeah.
So the Rocky 1 was sort of like the bones of the concept come from the Muhammad Ali Chuck Wepner fight, where Ali gives like a shot at the belt to this. He wasn't a club fighter, but he was a nobody. He wasn't a contender, and then Wepner went 19 seconds short of the 15th round. He went 19 seconds from going the distance. So it was, but that concept is like even the greatest boxer of all time, I would argue, and I'm sure people will come at me with Joe Louis and, others, but I argue as Muhammad Ali, and possibly the most cocky athlete that ever lived, maybe. Like, that was his personality,
Yeah, definitely. And it makes sense why it would be that, because of who he was and what he did and at the level he was performing on.
Absolutely.
Well, speaking of Apollo, played by Carl Weathers, we get Apollo for 1, 2, and 3, and 4. You know him from Predator, The Heat of the Night, Little Nicky, Arrested Development, now on The Mandalorian.
Arrested Development, I forgot.
Oh, he's great on that. Oh, you got a bone, you got a stew. Dude, Carl Weathers, especially 70s and 80s Carl Weathers, is jacked as fuck.
Yeah.
The deltoids on that man are insane. It looks like he is like he's hiding shot puts in where his shoulders should be. Like they're just perfect. They're perfect circles.
Yeah. He was sort of like Stallone's, like, wasn't just Rocky, like him and Stallone were like kind of on like kind of the same trajectory a little bit in that way. Yeah.
Yeah, and another interesting point about that is, and I bring this up because of, did you watch the Schwarzenegger documentary on Netflix?
No.
The 3-part series. Go watch it.
I've heard, yeah.
It's great. Listener, go watch it. It's awesome. But Schwarzenegger talks about like trying to break into acting, and he was saying like in the 70s he was going to try to play for parts, and they were like, no, everything right now is like Dustin Hoffman and Al Pacino. It's like it's Taxi Driver, it's Scorpio. Like,
yeah.
It's just we can't use you, man. Like, you're like a fucking 6'2", 260-pound, genetic freak. Like, you don't fit in these movies. And then Schwarzenegger like had so much money from not just weightlifting, but then like business deals and real estate that he was just like, well, I'll just sit out and I'm not going to take whatever, and I'll pick my parts then. And then the 80s come and everything flips on its head, where it's like now it's in as steroids, cocaine, shooting shit. Like, everything is big, bold, America, flexing eagles. And Schwarzenegger dials right in and becomes the king of that. Like, him and Stallone battle out for years in the 80s over who is the alpha male action star of the 80s.
Yeah, everybody, the action hero of the 80s is really like, so obviously Stallone and
Carl Weathers.
Carl Weathers was right in there, like Jean-Claude Van Damme, Steven Seagal, like these like
Seagal never had a body. He was just skinny in the first 2 movies.
Yeah,
he kept getting fatter.
But yeah, he sort of inherited like what Bruce Lee's area probably should have been.
Have you ever watched a Seagal movie in the past 5 years?
No, I can't imagine they've aged well.
If you want to go down a fun rabbit hole, holy shit. Like,
Under Siege, is that the one?
No,
on the boat. What's the one on the boat?
Under Siege is on the boat. Under Siege was great. Under Siege was him and they had that hot blonde that was in Playboy. She pops out of the cake.
L something.
I forget. I think she showed him on Baywatch. And then they also Tommy Lee Jones was the antagonist.
Yeah,
which is awesome.
Yeah. When is he not?
Yeah, especially if Tommy Lee Jones gets to be the bad guy.
Tommy Lee Jones is sort of the prototype, typical, like, I'm just now that you've said that, I'm like, who is the villain for every like mega action star? Is like, oh, we got to get Tommy Lee Jones to be the bad guy.
Yeah, and
otherwise it's not going to work.
Yeah, and
either that or an alien. It has to be one of those two.
One of those two things. Yeah, get him in there. And then I feel like who's the guy that's Bad Santa?
Billy Bob Thornton.
I feel like Tommy Lee Jones kind of turned in like that mantle got given to him at some point. Where like Billy Bob Thornton became like the psycho weird antagonist guy in movies where he was like cool and you're like, well, obviously if the hero gets a hold of this guy, he's gonna kick the shit out of this guy because this guy's like 145 pounds.
Yeah.
But as far as running his mouth and shooting guns, very good at that as well, which Tommy Lee Jones is excellent in.
Yes.
Yeah. So yeah, just to backtrack again to where it was, it is interesting that you know, in the 70s when these movies are very much like more thinking man pictures or they're kind of dark and brooding, you know, things like Taxi Driver are happening, things like Clockwork Orange are happening, you know, these like complex dramas, there's not really this need or want for these muscle men at the time.
Yeah.
And so it's cool to see like Stallone and Carl Weathers like kind of carve out their own thing because who else are you going to get to play these fucking guys where it's believable if they're two heavyweight boxers?
Yeah. I mean, like Rocky was all of those things. It was this dark, brooding, character-driven drama that boxing was
Very
like,
70s.
Boxing was very much a side issue in it. I mean, it's mostly, you know, to me, like the theme of all Rocky movies, the theme of the Rocky franchise is like, and he says it in the last movie, but it's not about the fight, it's about the struggle.
Yeah.
And so it's nothing to do with like, it isn't really about the fight at the end. It's about what you do to get there. It's about, you know, and it's like Rocky was like the first movie. What was so great about it is all of the characters are developed. All of the characters have an arc. All of the characters kind of go through, you know, it with Rocky, and Rocky kind of helps them along. And Rocky's like the ultimate good guy, literally and figuratively in the movie, without ever kind of taking it on. He's just like, you know, and that's what's so endearing about the character is that like, you know, he is awesome and he is like, you know, he doesn't win. And that to me is the masterstroke of Rocky. And when you said like, you know, when did I come into Rocky? Like I promise you, I was in my early 20s before I realized on a conscious level that Rocky lost in Rocky 1.
Yeah.
That he did not win that fight. Like he loses all of that buildup. He doesn't do that ever again. Like, and you know, he wins the last fight in every movie after, but in the first one, well, that's not true. No. In 6, he doesn't win either. But it's such a like a 70s thing.
Yeah, it is
like,
very 70s.
It's all about the struggle, but you're not going to win in the end.
Well, yeah. Well, and then it's also in the 70s, like starting to have filmmaking where there are anti-heroes and there are the bad guy wins, you know, like you don't always get the you know, the best ending. You don't always get like, oh, the good guy wins, everything's safe, everything's good. Like there's definitely 70s movies where it's like, nope, bad shit happened to bad people. And, you know, good guys didn't win this one, you know, just
but
it
you
is.
tried real hard.
You tried real hard. Yeah, and I think that is something to be said about Rocky. And to kind of go back to talk about just to set up a little bit more on Rocky being a good guy. Yeah, Rocky is this character where Rocky never does anything mean or vindictive to people. Like the times when Rocky makes mistakes, it's because he's blinded by compassion for another character, or he's just so dumb he didn't realize that he hurt you. Like that's kind of a, like, you know, when you get into like the stuff in like Rocky Balboa with him and his son's resenting Rocky and all this, and Rocky's just kind of blind to it and just didn't see it.
Yeah,
He's
especially
just,
5.
Yeah, he just yeah, and then especially in 5 with Tommy Gunn, like he doesn't know that he doesn't realize what he's doing is wrong. And then when he finally figures out, he's like, "Oh fuck, I'm so sorry. Like I didn't mean to do that. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
So yeah, he really is. He's one of the rare, like, man, like talk about like white cowboy hat sheriff motherfucker and good guys, like
Yep.
100% lawful good, like just ridiculously a good dude.
Absolutely. Yeah, I one of the motifs of the movie that I find interesting is he's always, except in one movie, always pressured into the fight. It's never, I want to do it. Yeah. It's always like somebody pressures him into it. Now, the pressure might be money, the pressure might be any number of things, but it's not like he is choosing violence. It's like he's fighting back. He can't just be the guy to go out and fight, because that would be the cocky, I'm not looking for a fight like Apollo is looking for a fight, or like Ali is looking for a fight. The fight's got to come to Rocky, or it doesn't work. And
You're saying he's like when Toby Keith wrote that song about 9/11, like you rattled the big dog's cage. That's what you're saying. I'm putting words in
sure,
your mouth.
okay, I'm saying exactly that about that song I've never heard. I'll go listen to it after the podcast.
No, you don't want to do that.
No, I don't. You
No,
sure?
no, don't do that. You're better off not knowing.
Yeah,
Stay in
there's cultural knowledge that I'm missing.
Stay ignorant. Stay not in
Stay
the know.
golden.
Well, all right.
Golden
Look,
boy.
so let's hit a few of the other characters here before we get into the film, just to make sure we got them across.
We're still
the
on
board.
characters.
Yeah, well, because every time I started, you go off on a side rant
I
about
inter- I
something for
interrupted.
10 minutes.
All
Yeah, and then we end up.
I will not talk until you're done with characters.
All right, fair enough. We'll get through them. Which honestly, kind of Stallone and Carl Weathers are the big two. You get Burgess Meredith as Mickey. I just know him as the Penguin from the '60s Batman. Like that's really it.
He's Mickey.
I know that's what he is. He is Mickey. When he's not Mickey, he's the Penguin. Like,
Also, Obi-Wan Kenobi.
oh shit.
No, he's not.
Oh fuck! I was gonna say that,
But he could have been.
I was. It was like, was there like a cartoon or something where he did a voice, like, which would have been weird?
No, I just feel like he's like the American Alec Guinness.
Get up,
Oh,
Luke.
I'm sorry, I talked. Go ahead.
See, told you couldn't do it. All right, you're gonna help me on this one. Is it Talia Shear?
No, Talia Shire.
Talia Shire. Thank you. Connie Corleone in
Godfather.
in The Godfather,
Yeah.
and then Adrian Pinino Balboa in the Rocky movies.
Yeah.
We also got Burt Young as Polly, which I don't think I've seen Burt Young in anything. Do you know Burt Young from anything else?
I think Burt Young was in like cowboy movies and stuff
Is
like
that what he
that
was?
before Rocky. I think that was like his, but I feel like Rocky was his payday. Like,
Do you like one thing that is a recurring character about that I would love to know more about Burt Young is one. He's a fucking stumblefuck drunk in every one of these movies.
Mm-hmm.
Like, he always looks like shit. This man has permanent 5 o'clock shadow. His hair is always fucked up. And who did his wardrobe? Because, like, he's always wearing, like, a shirt and tie, but it's a deal where it's, like, the button's undone on the top and the tie's to the side and, like, the hat's crooked.
he's the perfect foil for Rocky though, because he and
Absolutely.
Rocky, the same age, came up the same way, and he's bad Rocky.
Yeah,
You know, he's like not the. He's like the. This is it, life beats you down, and this is what. Going back to another theme that you mentioned earlier, this is what really happens.
Yeah.
You know, where you've got the GOAT athlete, and this is how they really are. This is what really happens when you've been beaten down your whole life, when you're, you know, poor and working class,
Yeah.
and you know, go through all the thing. You know, I mean, in like. Rocky also had an edge in the first movie. He was like a collector
Yeah,
for a mob boss.
yeah, for a mob boss.
He beat people up
beat people
to
up.
take their money. But in the one scene he's doing his job, he lets the guy go.
Yeah.
Because he's got to be the hooker with the heart of gold.
Exactly.
He's got an edge, but he's not a bad guy.
He's not a
but,
bad guy.
But his job is literally the guy that shows up and breaks your legs when you don't pay off your bet.
He's got a bad guy job.
Yeah.
But because of being able to do bad guy things, he's then able to transfer that into boxing, which is another sad part about the Paulie character, because you're right. Because one interesting thing about Rocky and Paulie are they are best friends through this entire franchise.
Yep.
And they butt heads a lot, but they also love each other. And yeah, without the gift of athleticism, of like, you know, natural genetics that Rocky has, plus his work ethic, he could be Paulie, you know? And then what would happen if Paulie was given the gift of being like a 6 foot tall dude that was 220 pounds, you know? Like, would he still be the same guy he is, or would he be a different guy? I don't know.
think he'd be a different guy. I think the idea is the personality there.
Yeah.
I think Paulie is like the defeatist, the has kind of given up, the kind of he's gone to like he drinks and he's angry all the time. And, you know, there's that scene in 6 where he's like, you know, you remember all the good, you gave her the good times, I gave her bad. I don't want to remember this.
Yeah.
And it's kind of that moment like crystallizes their relationship of like, I'm bad, you.
Yeah.
I'm the bad. I'm in the Bizarro world. I'm the Bizarro Rocky.
There's also, you see that also in like in Rocky 3, where they go to the Tough Gym in LA. They go to Apollo's gym, and as soon as they go in and it's like all black dudes, like Paulo's like, oh, I don't like these people. And Rocky's being like, what? Like, why? Like, why don't you like me? He's like, I don't know. I don't know. I mean, and then Rocky's like, no. He's like, go say hi. Fucking be cool. Like, we're at a gym.
Yeah.
Like, everybody's fine. And then, of course, like, and then Apollo's like, Rock, come meet the dudes. Like, all the dudes are like, Rocky, come over and hang out. And then Apollo's just kind of standing there like, what the fuck? So, like, even that, it shows, like, you know, the same character, but different sides of the coin. Whereas, like, you know, Polly's first instinct is to be racist and kind of a jerk and standoffish, where Rocky's idea is, oh, everybody I meet, I go with an open hand and I say hello to, and I'm trying to make friends with, and I, you know, I'm here and I don't, I'm in the 80s and I'm dealing with race, like, you know.
I can't. I've just like, since you've been like, the more we're talking, I can't. I don't want to reduce this no way, but I can't get I can't get Ted Lasso out of my head.
Oh,
Like Rocky, like Ted Lasso, I'm starting to be like, Ted Lasso's a lot like Rocky.
Yeah,
like, be curious, not judgmental.
Yeah.
Be a goldfish. Like, I'm just like, this is the guy. Like, this is the athlete you want.
wants to win, but in an honorable way.
Yeah, only in an honorable way and only for honor. Like,
Yeah.
winning is not the thing.
Yeah,
Like,
if you don't win, that's fine. Were
Yeah.
you did you do it right though?
Yeah.
Like, did you go out there and give it your all?
he doesn't beat Clubber Lang because he wants to win. He doesn't beat Apollo Creed because he wants to win. He doesn't beat Ivan Drago because he wants to win. Like, he
There's
beats
something
because
else attached to it.
he's pressured into it, but also he has to do it because it's morally correct for violence to solve this particular issue.
We also get, finally in this, a recurring character that we'll see going forward in all these movies is Tony Burton as Tony Duke Evers, who's Apollo's coach. Former boxer himself, like legit real life boxer, and then he plays Apollo's trainer and then eventually Rocky's trainer in all 6 movies. This man fucking sweats. Every scene this man is in, he looks like somebody dumped a bucket of water on his head before it.
That's because he's worried he's not going to be in the next movie, and somehow, you know, he's like the most underrated character.
I love him.
He's the guy like Duke, and people are like, who? Duke, his trainer. Wait, Mickey? No, Duke. Yeah, Duke is like, that's why he's sweating, because he's like, am I going to get into the next movie?
Yeah.
And then in 4, he's like, oh no, Apollo died. I'm not going to be in the next movie.
Yeah.
But he was.
He was. No, you can't get rid of him, man. He's fucking awesome.
He's Duke.
He's Duke.
Yeah.
All right. Well, so let's,
Duke in 6, when he's like, we can't go jogging because you got calcium on all your your joints, and we can't do speed because you're too fat and slow, you know. And it's just like, that speech he gives is so epically awesome.
And honestly, though, it is 100% right, because the last thing that goes in athletes is their strength. Mm-hmm. That's the one thing that over time, like, you'll lose a bit of it over time, but you don't lose it the way you lose agility and speed.
And so I love six a lot. It's not 6, Balboa, but like the line that Marie gives where she's like, the last thing to age in a person is their heart. Mm-hmm. And like, that is right on the tail of the last thing to go is the punch. Mm-hmm. Those 2 lines come right next to each other. And it's like, Rocky's punch is his heart, mm-hmm. his determination, and that's what, I mean, like, I'm all heart. Like, that's why you love Rocky. 'Cause that's what he is. He's all heart.
Indeed. Well, okay, let me set up the movie here, and we'll talk about this a little bit. So Apollo Creed wants to fight in Philadelphia for the Bicentennial of America in 1976. His opponent gets hurt, and they can't find a replacement until they find Rocky, a local boxer that works as a muscle for a loan shark. Rocky meets Mickey Goldmill, a former bantamweight fighter. By the way, a bantamweight, that means Mickey was fighting at 115.
Yeah.
Which,
he's a little guy.
Honestly, Burgess Meredith, pretty small dude. I can see Burgess Meredith scrapping at 115.
I want to see Mickey in his heyday.
Yeah.
Like 1920s, like fighting Joe Louis.
Yeah, fighting old timey white guys. Although now we can just bring him to the future. Now I want to bring Mickey to 2023, because he would just be fighting like Mexican dudes that are just like, they're ready to go to war every time. So Mickey at 115,
the only good boxers left in the world.
Man, they are badass little dudes. So okay, Adrian, she's a shy woman working at the J&M Tropical Fish Pet Store, which this is another reoccurring theme, especially in the first movie. everybody's got a fucking rough life, dude. Like, and especially when you watch that movie back in like Blu-ray or 4K, like Philadelphia looks like shit. Everything's beat up. Everybody's got a bad job. Everybody's apartment sucks.
Have you been there?
Yeah, I've been.
Philadelphia is a hellhole.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah.
Well, especially in the 70s, like this is not a
Our friend Mike went there, and I'm like, why would you live there?
yeah.
By choice.
Yeah. I mean, you're close to New York, and you're gonna get a lot of concerts and stuff. But yeah, man, Philly is a wild town.
They throw batteries at frickin' Santa Claus.
Yeah, there is no way I would ever go to an Eagles game as a visiting fan.
No.
Like, there's just no way. So yeah, I wonder, like, because they recently released that the Las Vegas Raiders right now are the most profitable team in the NFL. And because of they're in Vegas and every game they sell out because it's usually like a 50-50 split between home team fans and then visiting fans that come in for the weekend to
Or
gamble.
just people that are,
Yeah.
People that are in Vegas. Oh, a football game.
Yeah. And I'm like, I would totally go see like a Browns Raiders game. Like, fuck yeah. If I was out there in Amazon, or you know what? Shit, I would go see a Raiders versus Vikings game because if I was in town, fuck it, whatever.
Yeah.
I would totally love to go see an NFL game there. I got no desire to ever go to the Link and see a fucking game in Philadelphia. Hell no.
No. Or the Phillies or any Philadelphia anything.
Yeah, which is
If
fun.
Rocky was fighting, I'd go see that.
Here's the problem. My wife's family is from Delaware, so they're all Philadelphia fans, and it's weird because
Are they going to listen to this?
Yeah, sure.
I love Philadelphia.
I don't give a fuck. But here's the thing. It's like my brother-in-law John is like the nicest dude in the world, and it's like you're the most like daddest dad I've ever met, and I know you're a super nice guy, and I know that like if you were at an Eagles game, you wouldn't be doing degenerate shit. But the other people in your fan base, like they're always doing awful stuff. So it's just it's just like how's the balance here, man?
Yeah. I mean, to be fair, everyone I know from Derby who lives in Philadelphia, like, I love all of those people.
They're all super cool, which is the other weird part about it. And like all my favorite stand-up comedians are from Philadelphia.
Yeah.
Like I think it is.
It's always sunny there.
Yeah, it's always sunny. Yeah, and so I think that is part of Philadelphia. Like, you know what? It is beat up. It's rough around the edges. There's some fucked up shit that happens. But at the same time, it does have its own quality and charm. Philadelphia is its own unique city. You know when you're in Philadelphia. Like, it's one of those cities that it is its own thing. Like, if you drop me out blindfold in Philadelphia, within 5 minutes, I can tell you if I'm in Philly or not.
Yeah. I would have tough time, depending on where we were at, telling the difference between Baltimore and Philadelphia, though. They're very similar. Baltimore just doesn't have the character.
I've never been to Baltimore. That's like the one big East Coast city I've not been to. So... Well, okay.
I have a lot of good friends in Baltimore, so I will stop. I will say nothing more.
All right.
Other than I have a lot of really good friends in Baltimore.
After we just buried Philadelphia.
Yeah.
Fuck it.
Which is a character in the movies.
Right.
So that's fair that we talked about
It is, man. It really is. I mean, and that was something I was telling Lauren today when we were talking about, getting ready for tonight. And I was just like, it really is amazing, like, how pivotal, like, Philadelphia is to that movie and like where it's set, because like when you watch the Rocky movies, you instantly like it is Philadelphia. Like you can't mistake it for anything else. They couldn't sub in something else to make it look like Philly. There's different like row homes and shit, and there's the art steps and to the museum there and all that, and the skyline and just everything, and just the bars even. It's Philadelphia.
Yep. I actually lived in Philadelphia. I went to boarding school when I was like 10 for like 6 months. And that's when I went the statue was still on the stairs at the art museum. So I ran up the stairs.
Nice.
And the statue was like still there still at that point.
Hell yeah. So what we get with this then is Rocky ends up getting the fight with Apollo. So that's what sets this whole thing up, is like Apollo's kind of trying to do this whole thing where it's like, hey, I'm going to give the shot to an everyman and let's see what happens. And it's Rocky. Rocky trains with Paulie. We get the classic training montage again, which is filmed over Philadelphia. He's running, he's boxing fucking sides of beef and a meat cooler, like just all this shit. Mickey's cheering him on.
There's
And
supposedly 62 minutes of footage of him just running around Philadelphia
that makes sense.
that they didn't use all of it. So they were like, wow, we've got all of this. We got this montage to fill, and all of it's him running. Somebody was like, make him do push-ups. So for the first time in Stallone's life, he's doing one-handed push-ups.
Nice.
That's why he's so proud of himself when he gets one. He's like, yeah, look at me.
Hell yeah, dude, I can do this. He's in phenomenal shape.
Yeah.
So the fight's held on New Year's Day, and it's hilarious because Creed is making a dramatic. He's dressed as George Washington and Uncle Sam. Like, he's got on the vest, he's got on the shorts, and then in the first round, Rocky knocks him down, and this is the first time that Creed's ever been knocked down ever.
It's another Rocky theme.
Yeah, which Rocky does the impossible.
Yeah.
You know, letting people know, hey.
He knocks people down for the first time in their careers all the time.
Yeah, it's like when Hulk Hogan body slammed Andre the Giant. It's like, well, other people did it too.
Yeah. Yeah.
So then that kind of humbles and worries Creed, and then he starts taking the fight more seriously. His ego never really goes away. The fight goes the full 15 rounds. Both of them are fucked up. Like, Rocky has swollen eyes. His right eyelid is so bad that he has to have it cut open to get vision. Like the famous
Causes real damage,
Yeah.
evidently, that goes away after the second movie.
Right. No, that's not. But yeah, but it is like that whole thing where, like, it's closed, they're going to stop the fight, and then the famous line, "Cut me, Mick,"
Cut me, Mick.
and then Mick takes out a razor blade and slices his fucking eyelid open so he can see.
Yeah. Yeah, man. Like, hard fucking core.
Jesus.
And there's like, and you know, like the referee walks over and like, okay, this is fine.
That's fine. That's fine. What's that? You took out a box cutter and you just slit this man's eye open?
1976.
That's
yeah,
good.
like, is he okay? Cool.
All right. I mean, honestly, I'm surprised that the fucking ref didn't have a cigarette in while he did that. I mean, it makes sense. Apollo is suffering internal bleeding and a broken rib and is struggling to breathe throughout the end of this thing.
No reason to stop this fight.
Yeah. No, let these guys go to the bell. All right. Final bell sounds. Both fighters embrace. They promise each other there will be no rematch.
Hell no.
No, never.
There's never a rematch. You're always going to retire, and there's
done.
not going to be a rematch ever until the next movie.
Until the next movie. After the split decision, Rocky loses. Which, holy shit! Which that in itself is crazy.
So good.
Because
so good.
So, listener, a split decision in like a combat sport, you have 3 judges, and that's why they give you 3 judges, and so that way that there's always a way that it's not going to be a tie. It's going to be, you know, either it's going to be unanimous, or all 3 judges will call it for somebody, or it'll be a majority decision, or a split decision where it's like 2-1 voted that this person won the fight. So it's a split decision. Apollo Creed wins. But Rocky wins in his heart, in his soul, in his belief in himself that he did what nobody thought he could do.
He did exactly what he set out to do.
Yes.
No one's ever gone the distance with Creed. He does it. And he's like this nobody from nowhere. Well, from Philadelphia. Nowhere.
In 2006, the Library of Congress selected Rocky for preservation in the United States National Film Registry for being, quote, culturally, historically, and aesthetically significant, end quote.
Yeah. Amen, right?
Yeah. No.
Got that right.
They got that one right. All right. Rocky 2, 1979. Budget, $7 million. This thing goes on to do about $200 million worldwide. Hollywood wanted the sequel, so there was a sequel. I mean, that's basically what it comes down to, right? Like, I don't think that when Stallone wrote the first Rocky in 3 days, he thought this thing was going to become a multiple decade franchise. But
no, there's not supposed to be a rematch.
I mean, but after 10 Academy Awards and, you know, making hundreds of millions of dollars worldwide, there's going to be a sequel.
Yeah, though, back in this time in 1979, it wasn't like sequels were
true.
I mean, sequels weren't normal. It's hard to say that because, like, if you go back in far enough, I mean, there used to be movie serials. So you've got like westerns and cops and robbers movies and Charlie Chaplin movies, and these are all serials. So they are technically sequels, but it's not the same story arc, I guess. So, but like that, when you get to the 70s, that's really the beginning of blockbusters, sequels happening, that kind of thing. And so I don't think it was a foregone conclusion that there would be a sequel to Rocky. But I absolutely agree with you that the producers were like, that made them 225 times what they cost to make the damn thing. And it won all kinds of awards. Stallone wrote it but wasn't paid to write it. He was only paid to act in it. He was only allowed to act in it because they didn't have to pay him as a writer, and because Irwin Winkler, the producer, like basically had a deal with the studio to make a movie that he could make pretty much whatever he wanted, given reason, if it was under $1 million. And so this is the movie that Irwin Winkler made. And kind of one of the not at all fun facts about Rocky is Stallone does not own the franchise. It belongs to Irwin Winkler.
Really?
That is why Stallone's not in Creed. That's why Stallone has never owned it. He's written most of them. He directed lots of them. He acted in, obviously, up until the very recent one that I haven't even seen, Creed 3. Spoiler alert. But Irwin Winkler owns the damn thing. And it's because he signed it to get it made. He was making like $40 a week as like I think a parking attendant or something, or an usher or something. And like just knew that this movie, he had to get it made. And he made, like, Rocky was, like, undeniably, like, looking back on it, one of the greatest films of all time, not just from cultural standpoint, but then they made Rocky 2. And to me, the thing about Rocky 2, it is exactly what's wrong with sequels. Like, it is the prototype of what to do wrong in a sequel. Because I think Rocky 2, even though Rocky 5 is a piece of crap movie, Rocky 2 is my least favorite, and I think the weakest of all of them. Because Rocky, Stallone goes from getting nominated for Best Actor to getting the Stinker Award for Worst Acting.
Yeah, I'm gonna agree with you and co-sign everything you just said there. As far as like the whole sequel thing that you said a few moments back, and then getting into this whole thing. With Rocky 2 not being a good movie. I see Rocky 2 the same way I see Halloween 2 and what happened to John Carpenter with that, where when John Carpenter made Halloween, he was envisioning it to be like a serial thing where like each movie would be different. So like if you've ever seen Halloween 3 Season of the Witch, Michael Myers isn't in it. That's what it was supposed to be. It was supposed to be like Michael Myers is 1, that was supposed to be 2, and then 3 was going to be something else.
Yeah.
And then as soon as Halloween 1 did well, the studio was like, we need a sequel. And that's what happened here with Rocky, where it's like, we need a sequel. It's like, well, we said that there was no rematch, and it was final. It's like, it's Hollywood. We can write around it.
And he's pressured into it, but it's so weak. Like, the pressure is so weak, and it's such everything about it is like, and this is a thing that, like, Rocky, like, he makes movies, and he made 3 movies. He just made the same movie twice, 3 times. So Rocky 1, perfect. Rocky 2, a bad version of Rocky 1. Rocky 3, we'll talk, but it's my favorite. I love it. It's the 80s blockbuster. Rocky 4, not quite as good 80s blockbuster, although it did end communism.
Yeah, it did. It did.
Rocky 5, maybe one of the worst movies ever made, arguably. Rocky 6, like 16 years later, like just goes back to, like, it is everything that Rocky 5 was supposed to be and wasn't at all remotely. So, but yeah, like the only good thing to me about Rocky 2 is, fun fact, there's that scene in the final fight where Creed and Stallone have to be separated, and like people are like jumping over the top rope of the ring to like run in and separate them, and they're arguing with each other. That is 100% legit real. They were like choreographing the fight, but because it's no CGI, some of the like hits had to go through, and evidently like neither one of them will explain it in total, but some of the actual punches like actually started to land, and they were actually fighting for a second, and actually like started like that's a real fight between Sylvester Stallone and Carl Weathers that had to be separated by the actors on screen, and the director was like, we're keeping that.
Leave that in.
Yeah. They did a little bit of sound editing, but like, we're keeping it. It was a legit real fight between Stallone and Carl Weathers, and like it fits perfectly into the movie. But that's so awesome.
Yeah,
but that's the only awesome thing about Rocky 2.
Well, let's break down Rocky 2 here. So, we pick up directly where we left off. They go to the same hospital again. Halloween 2. Rocky declines a rematch and retires with a detached retina. So this is like the whole thing. Is like basically they're like, yo, you might go blind in this eye. Like your eye is very fucked up. Like you're like when Stan Hansen thumbed out Big Van Vader's eye in Japan. Like you got a problem right now. And so Rocky's like, yeah, I got to be able to see, and I'm debt collecting, so I'm going to retire. So
No. Adrian.
Yeah, of course. Yeah. She's like, Rocky, you gotta see. And then Apollo comes to him in the hospital and is like talks to him to get the rematch.
Yep.
And so then not soon after this is great. Rocky and Adrian marry and she's pregnant and Rocky quickly falls into financial ruin. And the scenes they set up to show Rocky falling into financial ruin is the fucking funniest thing.
You're right.
Because
You're right.
Rocky is so dumb. And he's
extra dumb in this movie to a point where it's annoying.
Yeah, he really he's fucking Simple Jack from Tropic Thunder. He is.
Yeah.
He's very next level. Like, how are you this naive? The way
Sling
things
Blade.
work?
Yeah.
He does this thing where he has retired from boxing, the thing that's going to make him money, but he's got a few commercials or something, so now he's on a permanent gravy train of money that will never end, ?
Yeah.
I mean, I guess...
He does buy a 1979 Firebird, which is the most awesome car in the history of all cars.
It is pretty sick that's what he decided is his car to get. And
he's like,
also,
Smokey and the Bandit. I want that car.
That's what I want. I want the Smokey and the Bandit car. And then what's hilarious about it is Adrian's like, can you... Is there... Oh, I drive boats.
Since when? Yes.
Yeah.
And he can't.
He can't drive this thing at all.
No.
He keeps fucking just wrecking the gears between first and second and then pops up on the curb in front of a place and he pulls up because as he is passing by a store he sees a jacket with a tiger on the back and he's like, I need that.
Well, he knew Eye of the Tiger, man.
Yeah.
Can't deny the Eye of the Tiger.
Can't deny it. And he gets that. He ends up buying some jewelry.
That silk jacket, $100,000.
With that jacket?
Easy. Yeah.
Really?
I don't know.
I
looked it up. He won $30,000 from that fight, and I looked it up, and that was $120,000 in
really
in 70s money. Yeah.
I mean, with $120,000 in the 70s, you could definitely
But
buy
that car was
Bandit car.
The car was $2,000. Mm-hmm. So I don't know where. That was an expensive fucking jacket.
I don't know. Rocky's making questionable decisions.
Yes.
So Rocky pisses all his money away. Then he tries to do stuff, including this. He does this Beast aftershave commercial where he's this Tarzan character with this coked out prick fucking director who keeps yelling at him. And then Rocky can't really read the cue cards in a moment that's kind of, I'm not going to say it's sad. It's sad to watch Rocky struggle with reading.
Yeah. Yeah. The moment of he's not only is it kind of hard to watch him be illiterate, which doesn't seem like he was that before, but also the prick director making fun of him for it.
Yeah.
It's you're making a fucking commercial for a credit card or some shit.
Yeah, it was Beast aftershave.
Yeah.
It was it makes you smell like a man. Did he just say smell? Did he say smell?
Yeah. Oh, Rocky 2 is so bad.
Yeah, and no, I don't think it really smells good. No, and it's just oh god damn it, Rocky! This is hard to watch, buddy.
Yeah.
Yeah. So now he's kind of in financial ruin, which again, another recurring theme of the Rocky movies. But you know what? Honestly, time out. Actually, kind of a real thing that happens to a lot of athletes. There's a lot of guys that have made it into the league in various sports and. They have a cup of coffee. They're out in 2 years, and the money they got, they thought was going to be there forever, isn't?
Yeah. I mean, just regular people don't know how to have that kind of money.
Yeah.
With Rocky, the interesting thing is he gets a substantial amount of money and then blows it, and then somehow goes from mansion to again blows it. And there's a level of
we'll talk about that.
Yeah.
That makes no fucking sense.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
Hire an accountant, like
yeah,
a real one.
for real. Yeah. Don't
Yeah.
don't give Polly a fucking debit card.
Don't give Polly.
What are you thinking?
Give him his watch.
Yeah, that's it. Give him a watch. He's got two. Okay, so all while this is going on, Rocky has become Apollo's white whale, and Apollo will just like not take no for an answer, and then people start sending hate mail to Apollo. Like people are yelling at Apollo, and they're like, "Oh, you fixed that fight. You fucking suck."
Yeah,
He's
which
giving
is
Apollo
a little.
shit.
It's a little weird, but yeah.
Yeah, I was like,
And meanwhile, he's like having sex with some random woman and having a child named Adonis
that's what happened.
at this exact time.
Pretty good time to be doing that. Yeah. I guess. I don't know. if I was
But
having
he's worried about his legacy. I'm like, maybe don't be fucking around on your wife then. I don't know.
Oh, that's true. Yeah, oh, shit.
This is the time when Adonis is conceived.
Oh, shit. Yeah, I forgot that he was born out of wedlock. All right.
Yep.
Yeah. Again, Apollo, see, again, Rocky, white hat. He would not fuck around Adrian.
Oh no.
But Apollo Creed, superstar athlete, GOAT, competitor.
yeah.
He's out there slinging dick, dude.
Yeah.
Like, it's just, that's what Apollo Creed does.
Yeah.
All right, so Rocky wants to box. Mick refuses him and then accepts him after Apollo publicly insults him. Adrian is pissed, won't support Rocky because he may go blind. Paulie ends up yelling at Adrian, and this is one of those things where back in the day, when in movies you could slap women to make them come to their senses. You could also yell at them until they fainted. That was a whole cliche thing, and that's what happens here. Like Paulie is yelling at Adrian, and she's pregnant, and she faints, and she's out, and this woman literally goes into faints, goes into labor, then goes into a coma.
Yeah.
Is that medically possible? Can you go into a coma after birth? How the fuck does that work?
I imagine like she lost. I don't know. I medical stuff is not my
Yeah, it's not my forte. either.
forte, but yeah, she had a rough time.
All right.
and that it's Adrian's an interesting character in the like. Sometimes when she's not there, she's a bigger presence. Not the actress. Talia Shire is a fucking badass actor, but the character herself is like when she's dead in Balboa, she's pretty strong. When she's like kind of like meek and silent, and more, and in 2, like her strongest presence is when she's like laying there in that coma and Rocky is just like not able to move from her.
Yeah.
And like she becomes this like everything revolves now around Adrian again. Like when she's not, it's like a weird theme that when she's not physically there is when she's the strongest presence.
Eventually, she does wake up from the coma.
Yeah.
We get to name the baby Robert, aka Rocky Jr.
We don't find that out though yet, do we? Do we find out Robert? I don't feel like that comes up until 5, but I'm not sure. 'Cause
Yeah.
he stops going by Rocky or something like that.
Yeah, I think that's the whole deal because they call him Rocky, but I think in 5 he stops going by. I guess he's going by Roberts. Also, which I think they do a good job in both 5 and 6 is the weird pressure of being a superstar athlete's child and how fucking hard that must be.
Yeah.
Like to be the son of a great man, and so then great things are expected of you, and you can't live up to it, and it's just like the whole mind fuck of that.
Yeah, no kidding.
Yeah. So
And did you know? When did you know that Rocky's name was Robert?
oh, right now I just always thought Rocky was Rocky.
No, because he's a junior.
His son? Are we talking
His
about?
son
Robert?
is a junior. He's Robert Jr.
Oh, I didn't realize.
Rocky's name is Robert.
Oh shit! I didn't realize.
Robert Balboa.
I didn't realize that he was Robert Jr.
Yeah.
All right.
All right.
Shit.
Well, right now, so
Yeah, I knew he was Rocky Jr. Okay, so Rocky is
fun fact. There
Fun
you go.
fact. So Rocky is a nickname for Robert.
In this, it is.
Okay, fuck it. Okay, we'll go with it. It makes sense. Oh, you know what? Fuck it. Rocky's Rocky. So, anyways, she gives the blessing, and like you said, like as soon as that happens, fucking Mick is on it. Like as soon as she's like, "Go," Mick's like, "We'll be waiting for her." And
Yeah, you're like alarm clock is perfect. It's like immediate. Like let's get to the gym, and Rocky jumps out of his chair. Like, yep, we're going right now.
and then montage.
Yeah, immediate.
Yeah,
like,
just immediately right into a montage.
like you're awake. All right, I gotta go.
What are we waiting for? Let's do a montage, and then boom, here we are. And then this one's great because it has like the kids in Philadelphia chasing Rocky through the streets.
Yep.
We're like
All the way up the stairs.
because and that's something I did enjoy about this montage that I thought really added some believability to it is the fact that like in the first Rocky's like always depicted as like he's just alone. He's running alone. There's really not people out on the streets. Nobody's really paying attention to him. And then in Rocky 2, he's again running, but now people are like, "Hey, Rock!" And everybody's like yelling at him and shit. And kids are fucking like, "Oh my God, it's Rocky!" And they're chasing after him and stuff. And it's like, oh yeah, that makes sense. Like he is fighting for the World Heavyweight Championship of the world. He is this character in this universe that, you know, took the greatest heavyweight champion of all time in this universe to the final round, to a split decision.
Yeah.
Like it totally makes sense that this man would be a celebrity in Philadelphia.
Yeah, well, I mean, he's almost late to the fight because 7,000 people surround his 79 Firebird on his like driving from his house to the fight, and he's like 15 minutes late. And I'm like, okay, well, I got to go to the church first, and and I'm like, my thing is like, he's like, he gets there and like the fight's about to start. I'm like, don't boxers warm up? I feel like boxers warm up, like, and I don't also feel like they probably should get to the venue more than like 15 minutes before the fight, like. Don't they get there before the undercard? Wouldn't you think?
See, I think this might be one of those things again where I think we might be looking through this through modern eyes, where like yeah, they didn't even really have like weight training back then and shit, you know.
Yeah.
So it's just like I don't know, man. Like, yeah, what time we kicking off? 4? I don't know, fucking 3:45. Like, just be here. You gotta. I mean, yeah, you're probably gonna want to take a piss and smoke a butt before the game, you know, and we'll get it on. All right. So once we get the fight, another great thing, the fight takes place on Thanksgiving. That's something I really enjoy, about the Rocky movies is especially like, there's always like a big date that stuff's around or like,
I didn't think about that. That's
yeah.
true.
And
Interesting.
yeah. And I think the first fight takes place at the Spectrum and the second is at Madison Square Garden, or actually that might be 3. I got it in my notes here somewhere. But I think that's another cool part about the Rocky movies is like they actually use like real venues and stuff.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, that's the deal. So the first fight takes place on New Year's Day, 1976 in Rocky 1. Rocky 2, Thanksgiving 1976 is the rematch, and that's where we are. So they go out.
In that, how short a time is that for him to go through all the stuff he went through? He had a kid, coma, went broke.
Had a detached
And
retina?
11 months. Yeah. Yeah, he's fighting 11 months after having a detached retina.
It's fucking insane.
Yeah,
It's
dude.
crazy that all of this has happened in less than a span of a year.
Yeah.
And here we are again. So the big thing in this thing is Rocky fights right-handed instead of his natural southpaw to protect his eye. He gets his ass kicked for the majority of the fight. And then Apollo is leading going into the final round by points. Rocky switches to his traditional southpaw, and then
No, he does not.
what?
Disagree. They tell him to, and he's like, no tricks. He refuses to do it.
Oh, he
The
keeps
downfall is not Rocky in that. That's Apollo's like won't stay away from him. And he knocks him out with a left. Though. But he does not actually switch stance because they tell him to switch now, and he's like, no tricks.
so honorable.
Yeah,
Always lawful good
Yes.
Rocky.
but you're not wrong in that like the killing blow is with a left.
a
Like
heavy
he
left.
actually does. It's the left hook that like knocks Apollo out.
And then after this, we get one of the most famous victory scenes in any sports movie ever. We get, yo, Adrian, I did it.
Yeah,
And holy shit, like, again, one of those lines that's just so part of pop culture. I mean, I gotta figure there's people today, there's gotta be like kids in Gen Z and shit that know that line, but they don't know what the fuck it's from, you know?
all kinds of things from Rocky that they know. You play that theme for a kid that's never seen a Rocky movie, will still know.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, like probably Cut Me Mick is probably out there.
Cut Me Mick is a very famous line.
Pity the Fool
Pity the Fool is definitely,
comes from Rocky 3.
yeah, which is
Not
also
it's not the A-Team.
iconic one-liner.
Yep.
Well, all right, let's get into Rocky 3. So this one, I love Rocky 3. You love Rocky
Same.
3. Let's
Favorite. I won't argue best film, but absolute favorite Rocky movie.
Rocky 3 drops in 1982 with a budget of $17 million. This thing goes on to do $270 million worldwide. We get an Oscar nominated for Eye of the Tiger for a song. Is this where Rocky jumps the shark?
So we talked about this. So yeah, I guess technically I would say that this is like, but no, but yes and no. So
See,
it's an 80s movie. It has to be this.
it's when it becomes a franchise. Like
Yeah.
this is
Yes.
and this is exactly like
It is the prototypical every sports movie after it.
every movie in the Rocky series makes sense in the decade it exists in. Does that make sense? Like
Yes.
Rocky 1 and 2 makes sense in the 70s. Rocky 3 and 4 makes sense in the 80s. Rocky 5 makes sense in the 90s.
It does. All of those Rocky movies are a sign of the times. So like Rocky loses in 1976, inflation, Nixon, Kennedy's like 15 years before that, like not long before that, like the 70s was not a cool place to be, like there were, we look back and like disco and like that was all a reaction to like
Classic
the 70s
rock.
kind of sucked. Like,
yeah, classic rock, the birth of punk.
yeah, it's just like everything is pretty dismal. And so of course he loses because you don't win. Inflation's out of control. 80s is all about glitz and glamour. And so what do you get?
Yeah.
And then the 90s, like especially 1990, getting back to your roots, glitz and glamour is out. And it's like glitz and glamour is the bad guy in Rocky 5. And then 2000 was it 2016 when Balboa comes out, it's very much a mature film. Like it's hard to, but you're absolutely correct.
It's a modern drama.
I think, yes, it jumps the shark, but I think it's an 80s action movie.
It is an 80s
Has to
action
be.
movie, and that's what it is. And it has to jump the shark to be that because
Yes.
the 80s, again, it's the 80s is cocaine, steroid, bald eagles. Like it's that was the whole thing was like it's muscles on top of muscles. It's loud noises. It's shit blowing up. It's the fucking 80s.
Yeah.
And that's exactly what this movie turns in, or starts to take the Rocky franchise into. All right, let's start getting into Rocky 3 because
Oh yeah.
there is so much to be said, so much to say here. So, like we said, drops in 1982, budget of $17 million, a worldwide box office of $270 million. Oscar
Not
nominated-
near enough. Not near enough for as great a movie as it is.
is great. And Eye of the Tiger was nominated. Shit, I feel like we just went over all this. Sorry, weird break in the action.
So did you know, fun fact,
Yes.
that the original song that they were supposed to use in this was "You're the Best Around,"
Really?
which went on to be in
Karate
Karate
Kid.
Kid later on. So if you listen to the lyrics of "You're the Best Around," like it actually makes more sense if you like pop that into the middle of Rocky. But they made the right choice. "Eye of the Tiger" is like
It fits
the second
perfectly.
most iconic song in the Rocky franchise, without
Yes.
question. Yeah.
It is. Eye of the Tiger is just an anthem that just, it's a pump up song.
Yep.
It's so exciting. And what a fucking way to kick off this movie, dude, because that's exactly what they do. So, additional characters. Before we jump to that, additional characters for this movie, so new people coming in the door. Again, a lot of repeating characters. Rocky's back. Apollo's back. Polly's back. Adrian's back. Mickey's back for time being. Duke's back. Everybody's back. But then we also get Clubber Lang, Mr. T,
Yes.
making his appearance. And we also get
Best bad guy, Clubber Lang.
awesome bad guy. Yeah. He has a real edge to him. And I would say more of a personality than Ivan Drago. Like, Drago is pretty stiff, whereas, like, Mr. T is talking shit and is constantly fucking pissed off this entire movie.
Mr. T is legitimately terrifying. So this like launched his career in he owns every single scene he's in. Period. Like he's just he just commands terror and respect, and like all of that stuff is cheesy. It's so Mr. T, and it's like, but like I remember seeing this movie in the theater and being like, I was afraid. I was like, Rocky's gonna die. For sure, Rocky's gonna die. Like this guy's gonna kill him. Like he looked like, they talk about like how he has the eye of the tiger like Rocky. I'm like, no, Clubber Lang's a whole different level of scary. Like this guy is like next level. He was like he's the Darth Maul of Rocky to me.
Very much so. I mean, he really is like. Whereas, I mean, again, one of the greatest things to if you're gonna have a great series, with a great protagonist, you got to have a great antagonist. That's what makes it work. It's the reason why Batman is my favorite comic of all time, because Batman has the greatest rogues gallery of all time
Yep.
in terms of like characters that he can face off against. Same thing with Rocky. Rocky always has a great antagonist, and Clubber Lang is not what Apollo Creed is. Whereas Apollo Creed is again kind of modeled after the cool confidence and the braggadociousness of Muhammad Ali. Clubber Lang is just like this warship that is coming at you and is going to fucking go through you and is here to destroy you. And again, is constantly pissed off. Like, this man is never not shouting. Anywhere, he goes to the bank, he's like, I need $200. He's yelling at everybody. He is constantly mad. So, he's a completely different thing than anything Rocky has faced before. And again, we get that amazing intro of this where we get a time jump where we've now fast forward 5 years. Like the last time we saw Rocky was in Thanksgiving 1976. We're now in modern day 1981, and Rocky has gone through 10 title fights, won all of them. Establishing himself as one of the greatest boxers of all time while doing this. And we get to see this in real time in this intro montage. Was I the Tiger blares, and we see him doing his thing. And then we also see the evolution of Rocky. We're like, Rocky's now wearing suits. Rocky's doing commercials for credit cards, but unlike when he was doing it for Beast Aftershave in the second movie where he's like pretty illiterate, now he's like, everywhere I go, I take this with me. And
Rocky's smart now.
Yeah, he's smart Rocky.
Because he got punched and made him smarter.
I think he went to night college in between these 5 years of the time jump. I think that's part of what they don't show
Like
you.
for marketing?
Yeah, he took some correspondence courses, and now Rocky's really educated.
I like this theory.
Yeah, that's my fan hot take. But yeah, so we're seeing all this in real time. And again, Rocky is endorsing everything. Like, he's in magazine ads, he's on commercials, he's on the fucking Muppets. The Muppets are in this movie. Like, he's hitting a heavy bag in front of
Speaking of 80s.
Yeah, again.
He was Stallone. That's a footage of Stallone being on the Muppets and Stallone being on the Tonight Show. And so, like, they just used, like, raw footage of, like, appearances Stallone was doing, probably promoting Rambo or some shit at the time.
Yeah.
That's hilarious. Like, they're just like, we can just use that. He's Rocky now.
But again, it makes sense because it's like, in this world, he is the world heavyweight champion. And
more famous than Sylvester Stallone.
Yeah,
he's Rocky.
Yeah, he's a lovable dude. That's the other thing too, is like, when you have Rocky, obviously if Rocky is a real athlete in this world, he's doing press conferences, he's doing interviews. So you get to know Rocky, and the world likes Rocky. Because again, it's the unbelievable thing of, he's this super humble blue collar guy that just so happens to be an ultra athlete.
Yeah.
That is just humble as American pie.
Yeah.
And all the while this is going on, we see Mickey sitting in the crowd watching Clubber Lang fight, and we can see the fear on Mickey's face.
Yeah.
Mickey knows what's coming, and Mickey doesn't like it. And Mickey's scared. And this is kind of interesting because
They was bums.
Yeah, we've not seen this before from Mickey, where Mickey is like, ooh, this is even when he's like taking on Apollo, like he's like, we can get you there.
Yeah.
And he sees this machine that is Clubber Lang coming, and Mickey is very trepidatious and not wanting to step in front of it.
Tells him straight out, you can't win, Rock.
The other great part in the beginning of this is after we get through that. So, and again, you hit the nail on the head. The yin and yang that is Rocky and Paulie. So we go through this amazing opening montage of Eye of the Tiger and all this shit that Rocky is doing in this world, and then we come into Paulie at a bar, and Paulie's drunk again. And Paulie goes to leave the bar, and the bartender goes, "Hey, Paulie, give Rock my best." And Paulie kind of stops and looks, and he goes, "You know what? I've been coming here for how many years? Why don't you give me your best sometime?" Because again, like, it's Paulie is just the negative. He is he's the opposite to Rocky, and so Paulie Stumblebum's out of the bar. He's walking down the street. He sees an arcade off to the side as he's walking down, and he walks into this arcade and he's like all fucked up and like stumbling and bumping back and forth between the machines. And he looks over and he sees a Rocky pinball machine, and he takes out a liquor bottle and takes a drag off of it, and then takes it and destroys like a fucking fastball and blast out the entire thing. And it's like, oh shit. And then next thing after that, Rocky comes to pick Paulie up in jail, bringing him home, and they get into it. And it really does show you how things have changed and how Rocky has changed as a character. Because again, in Rocky 1 and 2, he's kind of the same guy. He's just a guy in a neighborhood. But this is the reality. If he was the world heavyweight champion of the world that had 10 title fights, this motherfucker would be loaded.
Yeah. Well, it's interesting that he throws at like the merchandise. He destroys the merchandise. It's not like Rocky, Italian Stallion, Balboa that he's mad at. He's mad at the like character. He's mad at what he's
become.
Yeah,
what he
the
is
same
now.
thing that like Robert Rocky Jr. like is mad at like in like the last movie. Like he's mad about the image. But like it's that whole thing of like the further Rocky gets from the streets, like the less genuine he becomes. And like there's a real tension there even with the audience. Like you don't want Rocky to be living in a mansion with a nice car and a motorcycle. Like that's not Rocky. Rocky is the world champion who lives in a shitty little like row house.
He becomes unrelatable, and he becomes everything that all athletes become.
Realistic.
Yeah. But then, so we get all this, and then basically, like, after all this time, Rocky has decided, hey, I'm going to retire. He goes to the steps of...
What? Rocky retire?
Well...
There's a new concept.
I know. Wait for it. So Rocky goes to the dedication of the statue of himself outside of the Philadelphia Art Museum. And while he's there, Clubber Lang shows up and starts talking some shit.
Yep.
And lets him know. And then Rocky's trying to be cool about it.
He calls him chicken.
Yeah, and he calls him chicken and then tells Adrian to get with the real man. And Rocky does not appreciate that. And so this is what sets up the Clubber Lang fight. And this is where Mick gets worried because now Rock has fallen into the trap. Yep. That Mick has done everything to avoid, but now he can't avoid it. That time has run out. The sands in the hourglass no longer exist.
If he hadn't insulted Adrian, never would have been an issue.
Not would have been a problem.
You don't get to insult Adrian, though.
No, you do not. You don't get to tug on Superman's cape. You don't get to insult Adrian, and it sets this up. And then this is when we have what you've been hinting at the whole time is the talk between Mickey and Rocky, where Rocky finds out he's the king of an empire made of dirt, where after the Apollo fight, Mickey has carefully orchestrated and set all this up, has handpicked his opponents, has made sure they're people that would not give Rocky a real challenge so that Rocky could be the champion and stay on top. He's made sure to avoid any real threats, anything where Rocky might get seriously hurt again like he did during the wars with Apollo. But now the unstoppable force is here. Clubber Lang is at the door, and there's nothing that can be done about this, and he is going to destroy Rocky Balboa.
Yeah, and what's cool about it is, like, a lot of the other opponents, well, the opponents in the 70s, which was just Apollo, was way better boxers. I mean, no argument. When Apollo took the fight seriously, was beating the crap out of Rocky. It was just his ego. Like, he just didn't, he didn't sport right, like he was like more interested in his ego than like actually winning, and then like in the later movies, like or in the Balboa, he's fighting an actual boxer again who is going to whoop his ass because Balboa is never a boxer. He's a brawler.
He's
right?
a brawler.
Like
yeah,
power.
He drags everybody into the deep water. He's the guy that's like like a Michael Bisping type character where it's just like, or like a Diego Sanchez, where it's like, for me to win, I drag you into a firefight, and I know that I had the chin to survive it, whereas I don't think you do. And that is Rocky Balboa. He's a battle tank that just, anything you throw at him, he can absorb, but he will also be throwing back heavy shit your way.
Yeah, and I think not to go off on a tangent, but I think that part of Mike Tyson's appeal
Yes.
was Mike Tyson as well, and like came along in the late '80s when Rocky was like at the height of rockiness, and like here's this real life fighter that's Rocky. I mean,
Yeah.
he didn't have his personality, but he the fighting style.
Well, he was a
like he
mix-
wasn't like he can. I guess he didn't absorb the punishment as much, but no one ever lasted long enough for him to absorb punishment.
I would say Mike Tyson's more Clubber Lang, where like
Yeah.
he again a destroyer.
Yeah,
Now,
yeah.
I will give
Fair,
you,
absolutely fair. I'll go with.
No,
go
I
with
will
you
give you this. I will give you this with Tyson comparison. Tyson was a heavyweight under 6 feet tall,
that. Yeah,
which is fucking nuts to think about. Like this,
and he
man's
had a
like-
Vander Holyfield, which was like his Apollo.
Yeah, like so to think about the idea that like Mike Tyson coming in under 6 feet tall and is just every time he comes into a fight, he's at a disadvantage in terms of reach, which is such a major thing in boxing. Is like, oh, you got reach, you can just jab and pick people apart, keep them on the outside, and they can't get close to you. And Mike Tyson's just like, I don't fucking care that I'm gonna have to eat one or two to get into you. Once I get into you, you're gonna die.
Yeah, yeah, and that's absolutely fair. Like Clubber, so I guess what I was trying to get at anyway was exactly what you just said about Clubber Lang, which is like Rocky meets somebody that is better at Rocky than Rocky.
Yeah,
Like he's going to hurt you, and like Rocky's never had to face somebody like set him up with boxers and people that are like, because like they're gonna pitter patter, but like this guy's just there to destroy. And like that's sort of the theme of the movie. Like he has the eye of the tiger. He's just like you. Like and you got to get back that old again. He ain't street anymore. He's living in a mansion. He's like the video game. He's the pinball machine. Like it isn't just Paulie that's pissed off at him. It's he's out of balance. There's like Paulie. He's too far from Paulie to be real Rocky.
Yeah, definitely. Clubber Lang is the opposite. He's kin to Rocky's Ryu, where it's the same fighter. It's just like a palette swap where like they're two different guys. They're separate. They're they are their own thing, but at the end of the day, their strengths are the same strength. The weakness is the same weakness.
Yep.
And so we get the fight set up. I'm sorry, this was the one that is the Spectrum, which again I think is so cool. That we get that like they're using a real venue for this to happen at. So what ends up happening is they go to have the fight, and then before they go out, they're in the backstage area. They bump into each other, and then Clubber Lang yells at and shoves Mick, and Mick immediately has a heart attack.
Yeah. Well, yelling at people puts them into a coma or kills them in this movie. You can't yell at people; they drop dead.
That I think what happened was that Mr. T is so black in that Mickey was such an old white guy that it just completely made his heart explode.
Okay. You went there. All right, that's fair, I guess.
I mean, is that not the second half of this movie? Yeah, where they're like, the only way you can counter this is to take you over to Apollo's place to counter this.
Yeah, there is a lot of odd. There's a lot of like paying attention to in Rocky 3 maybe, and so other than Paulie, let's take Paulie out of the equation because Paulie's like part of his character is he's a racist, right? Like. Yeah. I'm not dismissing that he's a bigot and that sucks. That's part of his character. You're not supposed to like him, so let's make him a bigot. No one likes a bigot.
That is the shittiness of Paulie.
Yeah,
but Paulie is a racist bigot, but then he's also the comic relief.
Yeah.
And again, Paulie is never positioned as a character you're supposed to like him. There's a lot of times you just kind of feel bad for Paulie because you're like, oh fuck, you're this guy.
Yeah, he's still racist in Balboa. Rocky Balboa, he's still racist. It's like. All right. They just never let. But anyway, going to your point, you're absolutely right. There's a lot of attention paid to that Rocky's training with black people and he's training like a black fighter.
Yeah.
There is a lot more attention which
Rocky,
is an interesting, is that an 80s, do you think?
I don't know if it's like an 80s thing or like if like that was trying to be progressive, but like looking back on it, it seems racist because that is definitely like something that you cannot help but notice in this movie.
Yeah.
There's a lot of black and white shit going on here. And that does become the thing where it's like, oh, basically after this thing once he gets defeated by the first fight with Clubber Lang, it's not, you have to go back to your roots and, put away the cars, put away the money and stuff. It's like, no, to beat this guy, you got to train like black guys so you can beat the black guy. And it's like, well, that's weird. Like, that's not the way I would want to frame this in like 2023, but that's the way they frame it then.
It's interesting that I didn't think about that I mean, they point it out all the time in the movie. So yeah, and in the 80s, it's like just thinking back, I don't think I noticed it at all in the 80s. I don't think it made. I don't know. Maybe it was like the version of like My Black Friend, like where it was perfectly acceptable. I don't know about perfectly acceptable, but it would like it was common in the 80s for you to say that and no one to question it. Like,
right?
What? Like your what friend? Like,
I mean, I think in reality, I think that was like.
But Rocky was never a bigot, he was, like at all. Like he was, and it's not even like he was a I don't see color guy. He was just like accepting of everybody, regardless at face value.
Which
like,
again, Rocky Balboa, white hat sheriff, lawful good, always doing
lawful
the right
good
thing.
Is like the best.
Always doing the right thing.
Absolutely,
Everybody's cool. It does not have any hang up about anything. Everything's fine. But yeah, it's hard to like not see race in Rocky 3 because there's a lot of points in Rocky 3 where it's like, oh fuck, this is what's happening right now.
And it's being pointed out a lot. I feel like, yeah, you're absolutely right.
Yeah, which is the only Rocky movie where I really feel that, because like I never feel that in 1 or 2, and I never feel that in 4, 5, or 6. But in Rocky 3, I definitely get that feeling.
Yeah,
with the whole thing where the way it's set up.
Yep, absolutely. Yeah, that is interesting, and I hadn't thought about it, but yeah, you're absolutely right.
Yeah, so
I don't know what to do with it exactly, but
it's
there. It's for sure. Like
I don't know what to do with it.
I'm wondering. I'm thinking like, how does that fit into the 80s of this? Like, I like your thought about like, is it them trying to be progressive and missing the point? Like, or
or is it just a thing where it is? Yeah, because I think that, or is it a thing where it's just like Rocky's in a sport where. You know, because I think sports are an area where racism does start. Like, if there is racism, it does start to diminish because it is a thing where it's like we're all on a team, we're all working together, and it's not if you're black or white, and it's not if you're whatever. It's the fact that you're my teammate, and can you do the job or not, and can we work together to make this thing happen? And when you do start to work together with people on a team, you then start to learn about people, and you start to see them as people, and not just by race or by sex or by any of the things that is what makes us different. You see people as people, and you see them as equal, and everybody's together, and that comes through also in Rocky 3 when Rocky does. After this fight, after he loses, after you start working with Apollo's gym, like you see Rocky and Apollo mend this relationship where, like in the first 2 movies, they're against each other. They're always fighting. They're colliding. They're the 2 best in the world. But in 3, they become friends.
Let's be real about this for a second. They don't just become friends.
They hug a lot.
There's a lot of sweaty.
There's a lot of sweaty.
There's a lot of like. I stare and I can't do this without you. There's aside from the casual racism that we've been talking about, there's an awful lot of like not as casual homoeroticism going. It's like Top Gun had its beach volleyball scene.
That's exactly what I was going to say.
Rocky had like the entire middle of the movie.
Yeah,
like, these 2 guys like. Really like each other.
It gets gay when they're running on the beach, and finally Rocky at the end of the montage like out sprints Apollo. So then Apollo knows he's ready for the fight, and then they just embrace and hug in the surf while they're wearing their shoes. Which I don't know what the fuck that is about. Like, I'm not one of the things. Like, if I ever beat you in a race, I don't want to like jump up and down and hug you in the ocean while we're wearing Nikes.
Yeah. Also, Stallone is never beating Carl
no
Weathers
way.
in a sprint.
Carl Weathers is destroying him in a race.
Yeah.
There's no way.
He's got the stride. He's way more athletic.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like Stallone's a beefy steroid beast. Like not Carl Weathers though. Seems like there's like athlete there. Like he's like tall and like athletically natural. Like I don't know. He's never beating him in a race. Like that's Stallone's legs are like he's midget legs. Like he's a tiny little man. Like you ain't beating anybody in a sprint.
The internet told me he's 5'10" today because I had to look that up too. Where I was like, how? Like because in the movies he looks like a heavyweight, But I'm like, how really tall is this guy? It's like 5'10". I'm like, all right, you can work with that. Like, I was ready to go in that he was like Tom Cruise size, and I was like, I was gonna be like, it was gonna be like, how does this man make an action career if he's like 5'5" or 5'7"? But no, he's 5'10", so
Okay.
he's got some leg to him. All right, well, let's rewind a little bit now that we've got through the.
Did you better be rewinding to Thunder Lips or
Actually, yes, I forgot about that. We did skip Thunder Lips.
Wow, you skipped Thunder Lips.
We did. So yeah, we do got to back the truck up a
Tank.
little bit.
Tank. This is a very not Tank moment for you to skip Thunder Lips.
Well, the problem was I had it listed after we started talking about Clubber Lang, and then we just kind of got going, and I was like, oh shit, I forgot about it. Anyways, okay, so let's back up the truck. Mick is alive now. Mick's still alive.
Yeah, Mick came back.
Mick came back alive. Back alive. So this is the whole thing with Rocky training for this fight is like, again, the whole front of this movie is like superstar Rocky. Rocky is smelling his own farts. He believes his own bullshit. And he gets set up in like this charity match thing with Thunder Lips, which is Hulk Hogan. Hulk Hogan ends up getting this role thanks to Terry Funk, R.I.P. to a real one who recently died. Because Terry Funk worked on a movie with Terry Funk, professional wrestling god. Started out in like the 60s and 70s in Texas, was NWA champion. His brother Dory was as well. Went to Japan, kicked ass over there. Fought throughout the 80s in Japan in WCW, part of ECW. One of the first guys to start doing deathmatch wrestling in Japan, throwing dudes into burning, like breathing fire on people, throwing people into barbed wire boards and shit. Terry Funk's a wild motherfucker. But Terry Funk worked on a small movie with Stallone, made friends, and then stayed friends with Stallone, but sometimes worked as a fight choreographer with Stallone. He was one of the bad guys in Over the Top. He was the bodyguard of the main bad guy in Over the Top. Oh. And that's also what set up Terry Funk to get jobs in Roadhouse and stuff. But because of that pro wrestling connection, that's how they were able to bring in Hulk Hogan for the movie, was through Terry Funk.
Interesting.
Yeah, and then, again, very 80s thing, Hulk Hogan, blowing up at the same time.
Is Rocky 3 responsible for the WWF becoming what it was?
It's a big part of it. I think there's a lot of things at that time that happened. I think it's that. I think it's MTV with the Cyndi Lauper connection, working with NBC to have like Saturday Night's Main Event. So whenever, like there was periods of time when like Saturday Night Live wouldn't be in season and they would slot those in instead. I think it was just kind of a perfect storm of Vince McMahon being based out of New York City and just having those connections and really working them as much as he could.
Interesting.
Yeah, but but Rocky 3 is a huge part of that. Definitely, like having that thing where Hulk Hogan is in the #1 movie in America, it's like instantly gets that rub of being in a super successful film franchise.
Yeah, the Ultimate Man versus the Ultimate Meatball.
100%.
This is so good, and Stallone throws him out of the ring.
Yeah, tosses him. Yeah, and then like kind of after that, they had the thing where it gets called off, and then Rocky says something like "Jody Hurts" or something like that, and like Thunder Lips tries to like let him know it was a work, and he's just doing it for the crowd and their buddies, and and Stallone's like, ugh.
Yeah, that was like like the weirdest fight. Like, so Rocky 3, you get 3 fights. Yeah. Usually you get 1 fight. Like, usually it's the fight, like... Yeah, you did get... I mean, Rocky gets 1 fight, usually. So, like... But this one, he gets 3, technically. Yeah. And I don't know if we're going to talk about this later, but we'll talk about in Balboa 6 about Rocky's record, which is an interesting thing. Indeed, we will get there.
So we get that, and then like we said, we get the training with Mick, and before the fight going into it, like that's another major thing we left out before we got to the actual fight was, Mick tells him that he's gonna get destroyed, and Rocky's just kind of like, oh no, I'm gonna live in the gym, it's cool, everything's good. And Mick's like, okay, and it's a total fucking circus. We're like, they're not training in Mickey's gym. Like, Rocky rented out the space. It's like artsy, and there's people there, and there's cameras.
A throwback to Creed in 1.
Yeah.
And Creed didn't take the fight with Rocky seriously.
Yeah.
It's a role reversal. Rocky is Creed in Rocky 3.
Yeah. And Mick is just bemoaning all of this. Mick is like, what are we doing? What is this? And just pissed off. And then fast forward to the Spectrum.
Mick is Obi-Wan. He knows what's up.
He knows about to go down. They go, the push, the yelling, the heart attack backstage. Mick's down.
Saddest, one of the saddest on-screen deaths
It really
when Mickey dies. Like it's like,
Bambi's mom and,
Yeah.
and fucking Mickey dying.
yeah,
It's rough.
yep,
And you can so you're basically watching like Rock watch his father figure die in front of him.
yep.
And now he's got to go out and fight
After
this guy.
well, didn't he? Isn't that does? Well, yeah. So he's not dead.
Yeah, he's
until-
not dead yet,
Yep.
but he's like it's
Yeah.
pretty.
Now he's
like,
got to go fight and this. Yeah,
Mick is like one leg in the grave when he goes out there. Like
Yeah.
he's dangling over.
yeah,
And then Rocky has to go fight Clubber Lang. Tries to blitz him in the first round, does okay, and then after that he realizes that he can't overtake him. Clubber Lang beats the shit out of Rocky, KOs him, new heavyweight champion of the world. Rocky jumps out the ring, goes to the back, finds out Mick's dead.
yeah. And he's like, ugh. And he's like standing there. He's all beat to shit. And he's like standing, like leaning over, making like, Mick. Oh man. So rough.
Yeah, it is definitely a rough scene.
For
and-
all of the fun of Rocky 3, and there's so much, like every minute, like there's so many, like, to me, like memorable lines constantly, like, you know, like, I mean, it's a cliche now, but like there was so many like good one-liners, and there was so much good, and like, but then there in the middle of it is like one of the most heartrending moments in the entire series of movies is when Mick dies. Like
he's the father figure again. Like you're
Yeah.
so attached to Mick. Like, and again, like Mickey is like this North Star for Rocky.
Yeah.
Where like Mick always wants the best for Rocky, and he tells him when he's fucking up, and he also is pushing him to be Rocky. Like he's a mentor figure that's telling him to go in this direction, to do the right things, to be as tough as he can be, because that's how he's going to find success. You
That's when he's first on screen in the first Rocky movie. He's guiding him, like, in a way. He's like, you're such a bum. You had such talent. You could have been a contender. You could have been something, and you wasting it. And like he just like, yeah, like he's always been that guiding. Yeah, like that. Oof.
Yeah.
So hard to watch.
So Apollo finds a depressed Rocky at Mickey's gym and offers to train Rocky for a future unnamed favor. That's when he takes him to the Tough Gym in L.A. And then this is where we get into the whole thing with like all the stuff we went over earlier with like Paulie being racist, Rocky immediately taking to it, like taking to everybody in the gym, the whole training montage of like now Rocky is training and trying to learn how to fight as Apollo Creed, because this becomes the whole thing where Apollo Creed's like, look, he has the same style as you. You're not going to be in with that style. You tried. It doesn't work. You need to try my style. You need to try something where it's more about footwork. It's more about movement. And it's more about being able to dodge these big, heavy shots and not get caught with it.
Yeah, he's teaching him how to be a more technical fighter.
Indeed. Yes, exactly. And teaches him, about the idea of, being your foot placement, your footwork, knowing how to move, getting in and out, and not taking damage, minimizing damage, because you know that if you take any damage from Clubber Lang, you're going to be staring at the lights. Like,
Yeah.
it's just, you can't play this game with this man. It's just, you are always going to come out on the wrong end of this equation.
Yep.
So Apollo and Duke train him. They work with him. We get this funny scene during the montage where I got to point this out. Paulie is fucking drinking beer outside of a pool as Rocky is swimming, and like,
Oh, he yanks him in.
and he yanks him in the pool. It's hilarious. Like, why would
With
you-
the beer in his
with the
hand.
beer? It does. Rocky's.
Why
like,
is he there?
I don't know.
Why is he there drinking
Why
beer?
is he drinking? Yeah, exactly. Like, the funny part about it is, it's not like today where there like everybody has like a liquor permit and there's door zones, and you can kind of drink wherever. Like, is Paulie just like bringing a 6-pack around with him? Like, did he bring a beer, like a 6-pack to the aquatic center?
Yeah, there's no beer at the Y. Like, there's no bar at the Y. He's like, we can go to the front desk at the Y, like, give me a Schlitz.
Yeah, he just he just rode in with a 6-pack of Strohs and got chucked in a fucking pool. All right, I just had to point that because it's hilarious. And then, of course, like we said earlier, we got the totally straight jogging on the beach scene. All right, so the rematch takes place.
Totally not gay.
Totally not gay.
Yeah.
Straight as a fucking arrow.
Absolutely.
Never once looked at a man in jean shorts. The rematch takes place in
Shorts
Madison.
were pretty short.
They're
though.
very fucking short.
There were there's lots of thighs.
Those boys were hanging cheek.
There are whole. Think about in 1982, sitting there watching the 70 millimeter screen, and the entire screen is nothing but man thighs for a good 10 seconds. Nothing but man thigh.
Which game for the listener? So the rematch takes place in Madison Square Garden. Apollo gives Rocky his iconic American flag trunks for the fight. Hell yeah, respect.
Yeah, yeah.
Dude, that's a big move right there, which is cool because that is the classic Apollo Creed character, is the Stars and Stripes shorts.
Yep. And it's handing him the mantle of it's like America's fighter, America's team, America's he's like our we have consummated our relationship. We are now completely as one, and now you get to be the great American fighter.
Yeah.
I mean, arguably still already was,
but
yes.
now it's
but it is a very touching moment.
It is very
really
cool.
is.
It is really cool to see them like. I mean, they've been working towards it, but to officially symbolically bury the hatchet, to be like,
Yeah.
they're no longer sworn enemies. They are friends, and they love each other. They really do. They have a bond.
Yeah, like respect for your opponent, which is one of those, great Rocky sportsmanship, Ted Lasso things.
So we go out. Rocky wins the first round. Clubber Lang starts to dominate Rocky in the second, but Rock tells him he can't take him out. Clubber ends up dumping his gas tank trying to, and Rocky KOs him. And then after this, which is this the favor that Apollo hints at earlier? The closing scene in the movie is Rocky versus Apollo in a private gym
That we don't get to see.
and all we get is ding ding, and then they come out in the middle of the ring, they go to fight, and they both throw a punch at the same time. Freeze frame, and it turns into a painting.
Yep. In the end credits that winds up on the wall of Rocky's restaurant
Yeah.
for a private fight that nobody was at.
Yeah. Which, by the way, the dude that's
But so 4 fights in one movie.
True. 3 1/4? 3 1/8?
I like, so just like Rocky dying, or Jesus, no, just like Rocky losing in Rocky 1, I love that we don't get to see that fight at the end of Rocky 3.
No, I don't want to know. I think
Kid me hated it. Adult me loves it. I love that we didn't get to see it. And they never ever tell you, although they hint at it later.
I think Apollo wins that fight.
I think they hint at that later. I think that the mystery of his boxing record is a nod to like Apollo 1. Apollo was the better fighter.
Apollo was the better fighter, and I also think at this point in their relationship, Rock is not gonna do to his friend what he would do to his enemy. Does that make sense? I can't see Rocky in a private fight.
Rocky doesn't have a reason to win that fight.
Yeah,
And he has to have a reason to win.
and Apollo needs that fight.
Yeah.
And that's almost the thing where it's like, does Rocky take a dive on some level because he knows that his friend needs this?
I think you're right the first time when you said that Rocky doesn't need it as much as Apollo. I don't think Rocky takes a dive, but we both agree that Apollo's the better fighter. I don't think it ended in some kind of bloody knockout. I think that they fought for 3 rounds and you won.
Well, and also in the first 2 fights, these guys took each other to fucking death's door.
Yeah.
Are you really doing that in a private exhibition? Did you guys really show up at a fucking gym on a Sunday morning at 10 in the morning and decide to see who was gonna walk out of a Thunderdome? What are we doing?
I think
here?
Apollo's I taught you everything I know. Let's go and see who's really the best.
Yeah.
You know everything you know everything I know. And I think Apollo still beats him. And I think that, and 100% right. I don't think Rocky would take a dive because that's not the honorable thing to do. But I also don't think that Rocky would need to win this. I think Rocky would be just fine with you beat me fair and square in 3 rounds. I don't need to go anymore.
Yeah.
And I think that Apollo would trust that.